Hello and welcome. So today, of course, we're looking at yet another really nice free plugin. If you like a good bass tone, you're going to like this one. The plugin we're looking at today is this one that you can see here, and this is the TSE BOD. Now, before we start, let me tell you about my courses on Udemy, starting with Sound Engineering Level 1 Beginners. As the name suggests, it's for beginners, and it's everything you need to know to get started on your sound recording journey. Next up, we have Sound Engineering Level 2 Compressors, and this is an intermediate level course. Now, this is a 3.5-hour course devoted to the fine art of compression. And lastly, we have Sound Engineering Level 2 EQ. Yet again, this is an intermediate level course. And yet again, it's a 3.5-hour course devoted solely to the fine art, yet again, of EQ. Now, all three courses come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so really nothing to lose by signing up. Okay, with all that done, let's get on with looking at this plugin. As mentioned already, this is the TSE Audio BOD. Now, BOD in this case stands for Bass Overdrive. And this plugin is an emulation of an actual analog pedal, and it's this one that you're looking at here. So this is the SansAmp Paradriver DI by a company called Tech 21 NYC. I assume NYC is New York City. Now, the pedal itself is emulating the sound of a tube amp, and the pedal itself, is worth noting, is very, very popular, and it is also, relatively speaking anyway, expensive. However, today the plugin that we're looking at is of course free. So basically, BOD is a tube amp emulator. That's basically what it is, because that's what the pedal itself is emulating. Let's first have a look at the controls, and then of course we'll have a listen to what exactly this thing can do. We start off first with this here, and this is quite simply an on-off switch. It's off at the moment. When you click it, you get a little red light here to tell you that the plugin is active. I'm just going to turn it off for the moment. Next up, we're going to go down here, and we have input adjustment. This is basically an input volume. You just left click, hold and drag to turn it up or to turn down the input. Double left click will reset it. Next, we're going over to the right hand side of the plugin where it says quality. This switches between low and high. Now, by default, it's on low. Now, this doesn't mean that the quality is low. It's just a default quality, if you like. And you can switch it to a slightly higher quality. In practice, you may or may not hear any difference with this. I tend to just leave it as it is. Next up, we're going to the top left here to this control called level. This is basically your output volume. Next to that, we have a control labeled drive. So as you turn this up, this produces more distortion into the signal. And as you turn it down, of course, it does the complete opposite. Now, the next three controls are labeled low, high and presence. These are basically EQ controls. Low, as it suggests, is for turning up or down the low frequencies. The high is for turning up or down the high frequencies. And you can think of the presence control as a kind of mid control. Now, personally, I don't use them. They work just fine, but I prefer to use a separate EQ. You get a lot more flexibility with it than you do with what you got here. Finally, on the right hand side, we have a blend control. And this, as the name suggests, again, is for blending the original unaffected signal with the affected signal. See if you like the mix. So in reality, when I'm using this, all I really use are the level and the drive. And so this makes it really easy to use the pedal. All you're using are two controls. And if you want, of course, you can use a separate EQ with it as well. Let's have a listen first to the bass line that we're going to be using today for the demonstration. Okay, nice and simple. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start playing back the bass line again. And as I do so, I'm going to switch the pedal in and out so you can hear what it does just at its default settings. So as you can hear straight away, first of all, you're getting a very different sound. I think it's a much rounder tone. I think it's actually a much richer tone. Really like straight off the bat what this does. Hey, if you're happy with that sound, you're done. On with the next job. But of course, it does a little bit more than that. So I'm going to leave the pedal switched on from here on in. And what we're going to do is we're going to play around with the drive control. And I'm going to use it in conjunction with the level control, because when we turn the drive up, this actually pushes up the volume as well. So you will see me turn the level down. So we're going to start by playing back and pushing the drive up. Have a listen to the difference it makes. So obviously by pushing the drive, we're getting that little bit more distortion. So you're getting a bit more of a kind of a growly sound from the bass. If that's your kind of thing, you got it right here. So yeah, again, let's have a listen to before and after. Yet again, this sound, very satisfying, really, really good sound. Let's reset our drive and level controls. And this time what we're going to do, we're going to play back. And this time we're going to try turning the drive down and see how that affects the signal. Let's go for that. Okay, this time turning the drive down gives us a much smoother sound, if you like. Now again, let's have a listen to before and after of what we have now. So I think what you got here, all in all, really is a really nice sounding plugin that is relatively easy to use. If you really like good bass tone, I think this is a plugin you should download. As usual, I will leave you a link in the description so that you can go and download this lovely plugin yourself and give it a spin. And there you have it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.